We got one more woman who wants to talk about the Bill Cosby thing. Her name's Jen, and she's calling from Rhode Island. What's up, Jen?
Hi, guys.
Hi. Can you...
Go ahead.
Jen?
I'm here.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. You hit the nail on the head when you're talking about it being a different era. And I think a very plausible scenario is this 19-year-old girl, talked it up to her family, and they were probably crazy about it. So that after this rape happened, and she didn't want to tell anybody what happened, and she didn't want to go, I mean, her parents or friends could have been saying, "Were you crazy?
Right.
You have this opportunity, and you're not going to take it, and you never follow through on things, or you're always, not succeeding, or this or that." They're going to, bully her into going, and she's going to do it because she doesn't want to tell anybody what happened. So I think it just being a different era. Yeah, any woman, not any woman, but I mean, a good 19-year-old at that time would definitely end up putting herself back in that situation when she wouldn't want to.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you guys sound great.
Couldn't she just make believe she was going to see Bill Cosby again?
Not back then, no.
Why? Mom drops you off. You're like, all right, Mom, I'm good from here. And then wait for the car to pull away, and then you run.
Yeah.
Well, she probably had a chaperone. I think now, of course, you'd drop your kid off, or they'd just go by themselves now. But I think back then, her mother was probably shepherding her around and taking her everywhere. Somebody was probably.
I wish I could do a Bill Cosby impression. It's all I'd be doing all morning.
You do a terrific Bill Cosby impression. I don't know why you're downplaying it so much, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know.
You want to just,
Hey, come here. You have a pudding pops.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You guys sound great with the new show. I've never heard you guys sound so upbeat and happy all the time. It's nice.
Well, thank you for believing it. We're not.
I
miss
do
my friend.
love it. You're doing a great job because I completely am buying it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Anyway.
Come here. We were going to buy sweaters, and the sweater store was burning.
You close your eyes. It's right on.
I thought the cause was in here.
It's beautiful.
It's pretty good, right?
It's great.
Very good. Not pretty good. It's very good.
It's like picture pages all over again.
Look at him put on a sweater and rape somebody.
Lose the he at the end.
Be careful. People are going to think that's an actual admission from Bill Cosby.
Oh, the NPR background is about rape.
Couldn't tell if that was a clip or what that was.
Ask me about the rape. Ask me about my art collection.
Why is his voice changing?
It's Bill Cosby.
It's evolving.
I don't want to talk about the allegations. Who wants to hear about me drugging and raping everybody? All you want to hear about is my pictures that I've been painting. Ted Schickler Cosby.
That's Ted Cosby. It's Ted Cosby.
I'm really losing the impression.
Hey, I got to know about Jose Cansecos' finger before Joy Behar.
I don't want to talk about Jose Canseco's finger. I'm too busy committing rapes. I'm talking about my African art like people want to hear about it.
Okay, by the end, that wasn't Bill Cosby.
People want to hear about the African pictures.
Okay, that's good.
When we last left you with Jose Canseco, he blew off his
I
finger?
wasn't finished talking about the rape.
No.
Yes.
He blew off his finger cleaning his gun?
That's right. He was cleaning his gun and he shot his finger clean off.
So they put the finger back on.
Yes.
Which is terrific. And that should have been the end of the story. But now he tweeted, I think, over the weekend that his finger fell off playing poker?
Yeah, he was playing poker and his finger fell off.
How does that happen?
That's what I would do. I would drug her and then poker, but when I'm on the TV, I don't want to talk about it. Let's pretend it's not happening. I'm wearing a sweater. I can't go on the late night with the David Leonard person because he's going to ask me the question. Meme. Everyone thought it was the Family Guy, but I was raping everybody.
Good Cosby. It's right on. It really is. You're going to get a lot of work with that. What happened to his finger?
Well, he was just tweeting, damn.
It fell off like a Jello pudding pop.
Yeah.
Damn, I was playing poker in a poker tournament last night, and something crazy happened to my finger that I shot off, and they put back on. I knew something crazy was going to happen with this damn finger, because it felt like it was falling off. Okay, well, I might as well tell you, I was playing in a poker tournament last night, and my finger fell off. Someone took a video of it. My finger should have been amputated from the beginning. It was very loose, with no bone to connect it. It also smelled really bad.
Oh, my God.
Rotting.
His finger's rotting?
This guy called my agent and sold him the video of my finger falling off. It looks kind of funny, LOL.
Jose Canseco is a tough guy.
No kidding. He's just joking about his finger falling off.
He's a tough guy.
So did they put the finger back on again? That's what his finger looks like?
Yeah.
Looks like a little bit like a baby penis.
He's rotting.
What the? This is my finger before it fell off. Maybe
Wait, that was before it fell off?
So he lost most of the finger to begin with.
I mean, he shot the thing off. And obviously,
but they only put a nub back on it?
Yeah, probably.
Where do people see that? Oh, go to Deadspin. People know Deadspin. It's on Deadspin. This is my finger before it fell off. Maybe I will sell it on eBay after all that. After all, that finger hit 462 Major League Baseball home runs. So they only attached part of it.
Yeah, probably blew into pieces or something.
What part is that?
The nub?
No, I know, but was it his fingertip and they just put it near the base?
It looks like it.
Right? Doesn't that look like it could be a nail at the top there?
Yeah, it looks, or that, I mean, it looks like there's like some like metal
Joy
rod.
Behar is here. Yeah. Bring her in. Bring her in. We got Joy Behar coming into our show. I don't know.
Oh,
how are you?
You filled me with joy.
How are you doing?
Joy Behar, how are you?
Sid, how are you?
For the first time on our show, welcome.
Yeah.
We're looking at Jose
What
Cansecos.
happened to Anthony, though?
What's that?
Anthony.
He's gone.
Yes. It's very
Are
frustrating.
we on now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
We're
on.
on?
Yes. But you're right, though. We're frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
You got
Long
into
story,
something.
huh?
Well, you know.
Because I think I was here before.
Long story. I thought
Well, you
you were
guys talk
here.
about me sometimes. You used to. When
Always
he was
nice.
here.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, a good way, I think. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You want to badmouth me and can't have me as a guest.
Absolutely. It's a fair exchange.
I wonder if
Exactly.
maybe we did.
No, it's always nice.
Well,
trying
you
to
might
think.
have.
Because you stuck up for comedians.
What would you have said about me?
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't think it would have been in a bad way. Maybe. No, we do. We like you because you do stick up for everybody.
You always stick up for comedians.
You stick up for comics.
Of course, you have to.
Well-
we're on the front lines.
How about you tell everybody else to do the same thing? They're
yeah.
too scared because like the Artie Lang thing, which we just got out of last week.
What was that again? Remind me of that one. I don't remember.
He was tweeting about a black ESPN correspondent.
He was tweeting about these sex fantasies he was having. It was just a joke. He was saying I dreamt that I was fantasizing that I was a slave master. And it was Jefferson's plantation,
Right.
And that you were whipping me. But then he mentioned her, which I think that was what kind of got people
Right.
like that. And he apologized to her. It was no big deal.
You could argue the fact that it
was just kidding.
It was tasteless jokes, but the guy was going for jokes and laughs.
Right.
And then the media, which you're part of, Joy Behar,
Not anymore. I'm not on TV anymore.
Although you did a great job on The View fighting back. Thank you for
you.
that. They all looked at Artie's tweets like he was going for hate and being hateful.
Well,
That's
look
not
what
that's not
happened to Gilbert
true.
Gottfried, too. Remember that?
Sure, with
the
Affleck.
comedians all came to his defense, though, because we have to defend each other because we're out there taking chances with things that we say.
Right.
And we do have the First Amendment, which we have to guard like dogs.
Right.
People like Whoopi, though, who I like, and I think she's a good comic. And, I like when she first came up, at least the character work, she addressed all this harsh stuff. But then, even she at times, it seemed like she was kind of going after people for language stuff. And it was like, that's all we have. Like, why are you, you know what I mean, as a comic doing that?
I felt like she should have stuck up for IMS back in the day.
She did.
She
The
didn't.
nappy-headed hoe remark that he made.
Yeah, she
He was,
didn't. No,
but
she
he
went
was
after
going
her.
for he was going for a joke. We had her on. We actually argued the point with her.
Sometimes it's the period that you're saying these things. Sometimes it's acceptable, sometimes it's not. And when he did it, his timing was off. That's all. But you know what? Imus is not a comedian.
He was going for a laugh, though.
Listen, you could be going for a laugh, but you haven't made your bones as a comic.
Right.
Yeah.
But then people take that and go, he wasn't going for a laugh. He was trying to be hateful. That's always
But he always
what
said
I try to
shit
fight.
like that, didn't he?
Yes.
He always talked like that.
It was kind of his
Yes.
thing.
So I
yeah.
don't know what happened there. That's what I mean. The timing.
That's a long time ago anyway,
Yeah.
but whatever.
And Chris Rock, he gets into trouble.
Great stuff.
But his stuff
great
I
set.
thought was right on point.
It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. And, I guess nobody really wants to go. He's made the point that some people are thinking, will I go in that building? Would I go in that building? That's what he was saying to people. And, he's just out loud what other people are thinking.
Exactly. It was a great observation and very funny. And like we said about that situation, he showed respect for New Yorkers and people in Boston. Those were tough things that happened to
Very tough.
those two cities, but it doesn't mean you can't joke about it.
Sometimes you just have to laugh at tragedy a little bit,
Right.
I mean, and also, I guess if you're one of the people who lost a loved one in that building, you may not like it. It's possible. I mean, but then you don't have to listen to it.
But isn't it true every time you guys do a joke on the stage, someone doesn't like it because it affects them too closely?
Yeah.
Well,
you know that, Jim.
Sure.
Jim's the most, he can go out there and
we
say
all
shit.
know we all know the answer to that question, but for some reason people are like, oh yeah, but
My son-in-law is a big fan of this show and of yours, Jim.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, his name is Al Scotti.
Al Scotty.
Al Scotti. He's a nice Italian boy.
Oh, thank you.
You're in the paper today.
He loves you. I'm in the paper?
Are you going back to the View?
It's today's paper?
Yeah.
What is it with these? Let me see that.
I don't know.
You're just saying
No, I don't see this shit. I mean,
I haven't seen it.
I think they're kind of saying they need you to save the show or something.
Well, that was in the Daily Mail last week. I don't know what
it
you're
hit the
looking
paper
at
today.
I didn't see it today.
In the Post?
I need both papers. I can find it for you quickly, but basically they're saying
Someone on the staff find it and please bring it in.
yeah, the ratings have been not so great since you left, and now they're like, man, maybe we bring Joy Behar back
But
to
they
save
want
the show.
young. They want kids on the show, I thought that was their next move, to get a 25-year-old.
Well, they brought Rosie back, which is kind of.
But she doesn't like doing the pop culture and stuff.
She doesn't?
That's what they are saying. Which I think that audience kind of wants that a little bit, right?
I think that, there's a way to do pop culture that's interesting.
Yeah.
You have to find the sociological implications of pop culture to make it work.
Right.
To me. So that you're a satirist and not just somebody who's just like a fan of Kim Kardashian.
Right.
If you're a fan, it's sort of boring.
Do you understand the Kim Kardashian thing at all on any level?
Do you mean the lack of talent?
Well, that's a lot of people will point the
Yeah.
finger at
With
that.
the appeal.
Well, what is the appeal?
I don't get it. It drives me. Let me see the papers. I got to see.
Well,
Find the Joy Behar.
first off, I mean, if you make a sex tape these days, that automatically makes you famous.
Yeah.
So in my day, we held on to our virginity, you know what I mean? But now, these girls, if you don't make a sex tape, nobody wants to know you.
You don't have
Yeah.
a chance.
I kind of like that though. I kind of like that we've loosened up with that one. I'm big on the sex tape thing. I don't mind that making people famous. I just don't see what the continued appeal is. Like, I don't have any interest in knowing much about them.
Yeah, but don't you think that it's kind of like exhibitionistic to the nth degree to do a sex tape and have people watch you have sex? There's something so obnoxious about it, in my opinion.
I think you're probably in right, but
Maybe it's because no one's ever asked me to do one.
oh yeah, you and I should do one. I mean, that would be very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm sure for you to enjoy, but I mean, it would sell a lot of copies, or at least a lot of illegal downloads.
But I'd like to do one with Danny DeVito. He can go up. Yeah.
The idea of it being gross and exhibition is sure, but I mean, the more desensitized it seems like we get, it's like, it's kind of harder to shock people anymore. It's kind of harder to get people to look.
Exactly. There's no subtext anymore. It's all out there.
Yeah, but I like a good sex tape, though. I'm a pervert, so I mean,
You're a pervert,
yes.
yeah.
All right, here's the dirt for today.
What does it say?
Sherry will talk. So they lumped her in with you. I don't like that.
What does it say? Sherry will talk?
Yeah, she's going to go.
What are you looking at? The Post?
The Daily News.
The Daily News?
It
Whose
says
column
Sherry
is it?
Shepherd, former co-host on ABC's The View, is checking out the competition. She's booked on CBS's The Talk for December 1st. On the heels of rumors, View might like Shepherd and Joy Behar back.
Oh. So Sherry's... I have to call Sherry and see if that's... You know what? I know nothing about any of this. People put things in the newspapers all the time, and you just don't know anything about it. And you say, "Oh, interesting."
Did you leave under good circumstances?
Yeah, very good.
What made you want to go after 16 years?
It's enough. You reach a point. It's enough.
You're done.
It's enough. You're done with that particular thing. And then I did this one. I'm doing this one woman show. I
Right.
said one man show.
Yeah.
I haven't grown a penis yet, contrary to popular.
If you were, I'd
rumor.
ask you out.
But I'm doing a solo show which you haven't plugged yet.
It's called Me, My Mouth, and I at the Cherry Lane Theater at 38 Commerce Street, obviously. It's now through December 21st. And you can go to get tickets at cherrylanetheater.org, but theater is spelled in the old British way, Theatre.
That's right.
Or Joy V. Behar on Twitter. I'm sure has
Joy
links.
V, because that's my middle name. I never use it.
Who has Joy Behar?
Somebody must have it.
What are you going to talk about in the one-man show?
One-woman show.
The
One-woman show. I apologize.
It's basically, it's fun. It's a funny show. It's comedy. It's
Of
not
course it is.
tragedy. Some parts of it are a little bit, downers because things happen to me along the way. So it's real. It's true. It's all true. And it's about, how I started as a kid in a working class family in Brooklyn, New York, and what I did along the way to get to this point. I started when I was 40, my career. I really started late. Like Phyllis Diller.
What did you do before that?
I was a high school English teacher. I worked in a mental hospital, which I always say prepared me for the view.
Right.
I worked at an unemployment office. I used to get people jobs. I had a lot of jobs.
You started at 40. Wow.
Yeah.
What is one of the downers in your life?
Well, I had a near-death experience. I was fired from a lot of jobs. I got divorced. Things like that happened to me along the way.
You can't brush by a near-death experience.
No, that was a drag, but it changed my whole life.
What happened?
What was the experience?
I had a surgery thing, a woman's thing.
Okay.
And I almost died. So, when that happens to you, you change. You think your life changes.
Did you see the light or anything? Or
No light. I saw nothing. I was glad to see the doctor. I didn't want the light. I didn't see the light.
Okay, so by near death,
these people who see a light, maybe they're, and they're going through a tunnel. Maybe they're just in Jersey. Did they ever think of that?
So wait, so near death, you don't mean like the way we think of it as like, oh, you floated above.
No,
you just mean you almost died.
To me, it's like you almost died. The doctor said you were this close.
Why would they tell you that? Because you want to know the difference.
I don't want to know. I don't even want to know when I'm going to die. Like sometimes you're sick and they say, well, you have 6 months. Don't tell me that.
Right.
Tell people who believe. I don't believe.
But you're on propofol or whatever. You come out of it. You don't need to know you almost died. Why give you that?
Well, it helped me because it changed my life around. Because you figure, fuck, I could be dead.
Right.
And am I living my life to the fullest? Because you're 40 years old, you're already halfway through your whole life, pretty much, right? So you want to do something.
It's kind of cool that you just said fuck.
I always say fuck.
Yeah, Joy's a potty mouth.
But ABC doesn't allow that. It's just kind of weird to hear you curse.
Oh, please. I could not say. Believe me, that's why I like Sirius Radio. Because you can say whatever you goddamn please on this
Nice.
thing. I just was with Howard. My mouth is wild.
How do you feel about this whole Cosby thing? We've been talking about that. We're trying to get a woman's point of view on it because, I think after all these allegations, there's got to be fire.
Oh, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
But as a woman, the woman who went twice, I kind of get. But what would motivate someone to go back like 5 times or 4, however many times this woman in the 80s went back? What do you mean
she went back to him?
Going back.
A few times it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, what's motivating someone to go back?
I have no idea why women can be so self-destructive like that. I do not know. Of course, the onus is on him.
Yeah.
The onus is on him. The main fault with Bill Cosby is he's not funny. That's his problem.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't like
Never
his
thought he was funny. You think he's funny?
I recognize that he's funny. He doesn't make me laugh out loud, but I watch it and I go like, he's a funny dude, and I do think he's funny, but it never got to me and made me laugh. But I still recognize
it. Never made him laugh, but he's funny. You see
no,
what I mean?
No, but you know what I mean. It's almost like I could hear a song and go, I don't particularly like that song,
but it's a good song.
But I still know it's a good song.
I agree with that. I think he was a very good comedian, but it doesn't get to me either. But there's all these allegations from women. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, and nobody's coming to his defense.
No one.
So I do not have any personal experience with him. I've never met the guy, so I don't know.
I just wonder because women to go back into that situation, there's got to be something going on.
Yeah,
it's too easy to go like, she wanted. Like I know that's not the case.
Bullshit.
So what do
you guys understand? If a woman says no, she means it. It's get off of me.
I want to go. So you're 40. What were you doing right before you went into show business?
I was working at Good Morning America as a receptionist. And I had a master's degree, so we say bitter.
Wow.
And who were the hosts at Good Morning America back
David
then?
Hartman and Joan London.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were there any celebrities that came through that were not nice to you?
I never really dealt with celebrities.
Oh, you didn't have it. Okay.
I was in the office. I didn't have to go in the morning.
But then how'd you make the leap from that job to...
Oh, that's what the story's about. That's what the show is about.
Well, you give us a little bit.
Well,
I do want to go see this, by the way.
You have a lot of series of things that happened at that time to me. Divorce, near death, fired from that job. And then I was like, okay, that's it. You got to throw yourself into this. Stand-up is the scariest thing to do, so might as well do it.
Why did they fire you?
Why did they fire me?
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't doing my job.
Because you're too busy thinking about your stand-up career that you're about to start.
I was sort of writing it and moonlighting and doing a little bit on the side, and I really wasn't interested in dealing with their stupid show.
So you start doing stand-up. Are you getting gigs at this point, or like how did you make the leap professionally?
Well, what happened was I left and I threw myself into it. You can relate to this. You're a stand-up. You have to do it over and over and over again. You got to do 10,000 hours. I was funny before I was 40. Obviously, I had I was a teacher. I was funny in the teacher's room. I was funny at parties. You know, you're just doing your shtick, and then you have to make the leap to an audience that's paying, and that's hard. So you sneak in. You do open mic. You know what you do. What was your question? How did I do transition?
How did you make the leap into like you got fired from this job? So how do you make the leap to a professional full-time comic? Because that's 40 years old, so you have a whole bunch of responsibilities and stuff that I didn't have at 21.
I had a child. You also have stuff to talk about at 40.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, at 21, what do you talk about? Your teen years and then when you were in utero.
Right.
And that's why comedy can start at any age, really. You know, if you're funny, go for it.
But not many people have done it your way.
Well, they're afraid to do it. But, you know, there are a lot of people who are, I always think about this when you retire, for instance. People retire and they go, we're going to play golf. If you're funny, get on stage at an open mic night in your town.
And just have fun
Try
with
it. See what happens. Or go sing someplace. Or do something that'll make you feel good.
That's very encouraging because the biggest heartbreak for me is after a gig when someone will come up and go, dude, I'm 35 or 40. I never tried it. I always wanted to.
Yeah, they should try it.
Try it.
Look, you're not a model. You're not a model, you know, and you're not a porn
She's talking
star.
to me, not Opie, of course. Right hand.
Both of you. No, I'm not talking to either one of you. I'm talking to people who are funny. You're not going to be a model, so it doesn't matter if you're 35 or 30.
And 40's not old unless you're an athlete.
40 is the new, what, 20?
Oh, geez, I sure hope so.
Yeah, that's what we say. It's probably 40's the new 38. Right. 40's the new 20 sounds a lot better.
Yeah, we'll take that.
And hey, Rodney was doing comedy for a long time and then left. Didn't he do like aluminum siding for 10 years?
Aluminum siding, yeah. I was just talking about him somewhere else, and he was really bitter about it and angry that he didn't make it when he was young. See, I don't think that that's a normal attitude. Mm-hmm. The attitude is, I'm happy to be alive and I'm doing it now. Right. That's the right attitude.
How old was he when he came back?
He was in his 40s.
He was in his 40s, right? Yeah. He left for 10. Hadn't he done Sullivan? Or he had done some stuff?
And he didn't make it in the beginning, like big time at all. You know, and that really depressed him, I guess. So then he went back to telling aluminum siding, hello, kill me. And then he went back into stand-up comedy, and he hit with this, you know, I don't get no respect. Right. He had a hook.
I think George from, I want to say the guy who started Pips suggested that to him or told him, like, you should do that.
Oh, is that right?
Had something to do with it, yeah. But at least he hit.
And he was a good writer. He could write those jokes. They were funny. He was always great on Carson. He was bitter.
We got him at the end of his life. But he was still pretty funny.
He was funny.
He was pretty funny.
He was great.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, do you think all comedians need a hook?
No, I mean,
they need a persona.
You know, I guess it helps to have some kind of a definable personality that people latch onto. But when you look at, you know, whether it was, you know, Woody Allen was kind of nebbishy, but I wouldn't say, by hook, you mean like a line?
Well, whatever. The hook. I guess it's, he had a hook. His and a persona. He was like this everyman, working class guy who doesn't get respect. So that was a big hook.
Some of you guys need a hook. And some of you are just funny it doesn't you don't need any of that.
But everyone has a hook. It's hard sometimes to put a label on what's their hook, but maybe everyone has something definable about them that people like.
I think people have to sit in the audience and look at you and say, I know who that person is. I know who she is or he is.
Well, there's a difference between persona and having a hook, don't you think?
Yeah, because some people, I started out with, what happened to Emo Phillips? Remember Emo Phillips?
Yeah, he's still on doing gigs.
Yes, that's a hook.
And he was very popular for a while, and then he kind of disappeared now. That was maybe too specific a hook. Same with his girlfriend, Judy Tenuta. Where are they now? I want to know where they are.
I think personas sometimes
she was very funny, Judy.
Personas are harder to hold on to as you grow up and you get a little older. It's harder to commit to. I'm just, and I'm not shitting on Emo. He was a funny dude.
He was funny.
But I think sometimes if you don't kind of get beyond that, it's a little harder for people to come with you for 20 years.
You got to grow past that, do you think?
I'm guessing, yeah.
What about Yakov Smirnoff? He had a hook.
Smirnoff, that was a hook that went nowhere after a while.
After a while, he needed to change it up.
It was also based on the fact that the Soviet Union was still oppressive.
It was important to us
now
at that time.
Vladimir Putin's a whole other thing, So you can't really do it like that anymore.
Yeah.
They're all capitalists over there making a lot of money.
And we don't care anymore about Russia. Even though if it's still bad, it's not in the forefront of our minds, it's not a relevant thing to us.
Well, look at Steve Martin. Steve Martin had a kind of he was very funny, but his act was very adolescent, with that King Tut shit. shit, and it was funny. But he decided, because he's a mature and intelligent guy, that's enough. I can't do that anymore. And so he became a very popular actor.
And a lot of you guys want to move on from the stand-up and go into movies and stuff. Why wouldn't you want to continue doing stand-up? It seems so
Jerry
freeing.
Seinfeld's back, and he's got more money than everybody else, and he's still doing it because that's what he loves to do.
A lot of you guys, though, go, I'm done. I'm now making movies. I don't want to go back there. But I would assume it'd be so freeing to be able to talk about all the current events and new stuff.
That's
on
true.
any night you want.
That's true. I mean, as a woman, when you let me talk about being a woman comedian for a second. It's a little more difficult because you're ballsy up there, and you're aggressive, and it doesn't play as easily with people to have a woman be like that. So maybe it's. In fact, that may help to start later when you're older in a certain way with women.
What comedians do you like? I mean, obviously Amy is doing really, like, as far as women are concerned.
Yeah, she's
is doing
funny.
really well.
I haven't heard a lot about. I haven't heard her act very much. But
okay,
she seems very funny. I love Sarah. I love Susie Essman.
Watch Chelsea
Judy
Peretti
Gold.
on Chelsea Peretti on Netflix has a great special. Really
Chelsea
funny,
Peretti?
really funny and creative. Yeah,
it's nice.
But there's some really funny women out there.
You mentioned Judy Gold. She's
awesome.
A riot.
She's nuts.
She's a killer act.
Oh boy, is she!
And she loves it. She loves to get up there and do it. I have still resistance to it.
To what?
To getting up and doing it.
Well, you do it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But
so why are you resisting?
I just have it. That's my thing.
Do you feel more pressure now? Because sometimes I think certain people get very famous, and then the audience expects something of you, and then it becomes a little harder to work on material and grow because you're letting them down because they know you.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, at Catch a Rising Star back in the day, I really enjoyed talking about stand-up comedy with you guys. It's very nice. Like they come in, Robin would come in, and the curse was to have to follow Robin. And he would just come in, and he was always very sweet. He was a sweet guy, Robin, very nice. A hairy thing, so fun,
Yeah, he really was an ape.
Oh, my God. He was so furry. So he would go up there, and the audience would go berserk. And then he had to be funny after 5 minutes of berserk. Now, where's the material? He's got to do it like everybody else. And I think that was daunting to him, too, like everybody else, yeah.
Well, I would see him at the Cellar or Chris when he goes on. And Chris is great because he'll go on and just go, like, lower your expectations. He gets a laugh telling them to lower their expectations. And then he just pulls out his fucking notebook. And he works on it. And even when they don't laugh.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
They don't heckle him. He gets enough respect, and Robin gets enough respect when they don't yell at you. But they don't always laugh. And these guys kind of plow through it and work on it. And I always respect a guy that famous working through the material and not going for the obvious laughs.
Yeah, that's true. But, Woody Allen always said, he was a great comedian in the beginning.
Yeah.
He always said that you try material out, Full House, Saturday night gig. Like when you're doing you have your hour, or you're building it, and you slip the new joke in between everything else. And that's how you really can tell if it's going to work.
Smart. You guys are lucky, though. The Cellar's a place where I think people understand that. A lot of you guys go there to work on your material.
I don't go there. I've never been there. I went
it's a
there
great club.
Very long time ago, right after my divorce, and I was very vulnerable, right? And I got up there and I tried it, and I said, I can't do it. I got off. I started walking off. Bill Grundfest comes up. Remember him?
I know his name. I don't know Bill.
He used to own it or run it.
Yeah.
He comes up there and he goes, what's the matter with you? I said, I just got divorced and I can't do it. And he goes, boy, you can't do anything right. So, that was my one experience at the Comedy
So why
Cellar.
don't you go back? They probably love you there. It's a great, honest room to work out in. It's really cool.
I was trying to, I'm thinking of where to go. I like the Gotham.
Gotham's great, too.
Great. Stand, people tell me about Stand.
The Stand is really good. It's on First. It's on 3rd Avenue and 20th, I think. That's a great room.
Is there another one? What's another one?
Caroline's is a good club. That's more of a headline room.
I've done Caroline's many times.
Yeah, but I would say the Cellar or the Stand or Gotham. I would do one of those three if you're going to do. There's a lot of good clubs, but I mean, those are the three I would recommend.
Yeah. Okay.
You see Jose Canseco's finger?
Oh, that's his finger?
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I thought it was a small penis.
Well,
no, not at all.
We were in the middle of talking about this when you came in. Basically, Jose Canseco blew his finger off cleaning his gun, and then they reattached it.
What is he, a boxer?
No, he was a baseball player.
He hit a lot of home runs. A lot.
He did.
462.
So what do you mean he shot his finger?
He shot his finger off cleaning his gun. They reattached.
On eBay.
They reattached that, I guess, and then it fell off over the weekend while he was playing poker.
It looks like John Wayne Robinson's dick.
Yeah, it really does.
It looks horrendous.
He did a bite. Speaking of sex tapes, he did one with his dick
I know.
reattached.
They reattached it, and then he did a porn flick.
Yeah.
Please.
Franken Dick or something. They called it some weird name.
People are shameless.
Imagine they find your dick, though, and they reattach it. I mean, that thing was thrown out a window.
Yeah.
Thrown out a window, and they found it.
I know. I have a whole bit about it in my show.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I always wanted to interview her, and I couldn't. So it's part of the story about.
Why couldn't you? Was she just not doing press?
Because she did the deed in '97, and we went on the air right after that. So but I would have loved to have. And and I say in my show there were no copycats. So I was upset. I was like, bring her back. I have a funny routine on that in the show.
She disappeared.
Yeah.
Never heard from again. Really.
I know.
She's probably on eHarmony or a different name. I mean, you got to fucking change the last name if you want to meet somebody.
Do you talk about what are you talking about here all the time?
Everything.
Whatever's in the news.
Just the two of you, and then you have guests. Is
Yeah,
that
we
how the show
always
goes?
have
We've been
yeah.
getting our friends coming in on a regular basis. It's been fun.
Are you live?
Yeah,
yes.
we're right.
Oh,
right
we're
now.
on live right
We'll
now.
replay all day, too.
What does it look like to you? What are you?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we are.
Some shows they said are being taped here.
Oh, no.
No, we're very
Because I'm
live.
running the gamut, you know.
You're going from one to one?
I started with Howard. I went to some gay show. And
I mean
cute.
us?
No. Some gay show that was kind of nice. I don't remember what they called, but whatever. And some other show.
Did you know Joan?
I knew Joan Rivers, yeah. I used to have dinner with her. I liked her.
Oh, you did? You got along well with her?
Oh, yeah. She's great. Are you kidding? Talk about a warrior.
Right.
Do you see that documentary
It's
about
amazing.
her?
Yeah.
Place of work? Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
I said to her one time, Joan, what's with the empty calendar problem?
Right.
Like if she had nothing booked, she would go crazy.
But why was she doing so many shit gigs?
Did she do shit gigs?
In that movie, they kind of show her doing, I shouldn't say shit gigs, I
Casinos,
guess,
yeah.
but gigs that she probably didn't have to do anymore, and maybe she could, relax a little bit.
I think that she liked to make a lot of money, one thing, and she
But she
lived
had
high.
yeah.
She lived high. I mean, some people, they want to keep working and keep making a lot of money. It's like what they do.
Right. But then
know?
she filled in that calendar with gigs that...
She didn't want, those were the gigs she was getting all the time.
Yeah.
If you want to work that much, not everything is going to be a quality gig.
And she was probably making 30, 40, 50,000 a show. I mean, she
Yeah.
was making tremendous money. So
Oh, yeah.
even in those smaller casino gigs, they probably had to really
Casinos
pay her.
pay money because they're not relying on ticket buyers particularly. They paper the house a lot.
She was so great too because we saw her once at the cutting room, and just to watch her stand there and be so unapologetic about all the content and the things, and she made fun of age, she made fun of 9/11. There was nothing she wouldn't make fun of.
That's true.
And she made fun of the Obamas brutally, not when I first saw her, but like recently in the. She just didn't give a fuck, and it's like that to me is what every comic should
strive
do.
for. I know.
Do your own thing and don't worry about if other people are going to be upset by it.
I know, but not everybody has that kind of intestinal fortitude.
And when you go after those tough topics, you got to make damn well it's funny.
Or at least, that it's obvious you're going for the joke and not being serious.
How was Barbara Walters to work for?
She was okay. She's okay. She's a tough broad.
She is a tough
She's
broad.
tough,
That's
but
what we've
she's
heard over the
smart.
years.
I mean, you can't be Barbara Walters without being tough all those years.
Right. Did she restrain you at all or kind
Here
of
and there.
rope you in?
Here and there.
On what?
Well, she didn't like it when I walked off on Bill O'Reilly that time. She was pissed at that.
Yeah,
Why did you walk on?
I forget. Yeah, what was that one again? Refresh our
He said
memory.
something really stupid about how all Muslims created 9/11. That shit, and it's like I started to argue with him, but then he wasn't really listening, and I felt my ass get propelled out of the seat, and I just said I can't listen to this, and I started walking off, and then Whoopi just followed me out, and the two of us just walked off. Now I was just talking about this with Howard because Howard Stern's like you should sit there and keep talking. I just couldn't sit there anymore.
Right.
I've never done it before or since.
Right.
But he got under my skin.
He annoyed you a lot.
He really annoyed me that day, and I just didn't feel like sitting there anymore.
Let me ask, and I don't remember the point, so I'm actually asking this legit question. Was he winning the argument?
I don't think you win an argument when you say all of any group is a certain way.
Okay.
You don't. There's no such. That argument is stupid.
Right. Yeah, you can't say all.
You can't say all of anything. You can't say all Italians are mobsters.
No.
I'm Italian.
90%
You can't
fair.
say all. You can't say all Irishmen are alcoholics.
Right.
95%.
So what did Barbara say to you guys after this
She said
taping?
you shouldn't have walked off.
And she got mad.
Yeah, but then we got
That
a lot
makes
of
great TV,
But
though.
then we got a lot of publicity
Of
around it, and she
course.
was over it. I mean,
How many presidents did you interview?
Presidents. We interviewed Jimmy Carter, and we interviewed
Barack. You were there
Barack
for
Obama
Barack.
a couple of times. Clinton, Bill.
So you had three of the five living presidents. No Bush.
No Bush.
So
no.
when you
the
interview-
Republicans
No
hated
Bush.
coming on the show.
Sorry. I said no
I want to
Bush.
know what the protocol is.
I want to know about Obama when he's just sitting there. What kind of guy is he when the cameras are off?
I'm a big fan. I like him. I think he's done a remarkable job under the circumstances. I think he's been obstructed mercilessly by the Republican Party, and they should be ashamed of themselves because they're more interested in getting him than they are in moving this country forward. It's outrageous and disgusting. And now they're trying to undo Obamacare. Millions of people are happy with their stuff, their health care, and now they're trying to undo it. I mean, where are these people? They don't care about climate change. Don't they have children? It so irritates me.
So when you're in the chair there, and like Opie said, when you're on commercial, what do you talk about with the president?
The president.
Yeah. Well, who talked? Does he talk first?
He was extremely relaxed, this guy. And when I first met him and Michelle, they both came together before he was president. And I said, these people are sane. They're not crazy. You know, they're not crazy people. Very casual, takes a picture with you, puts his arm around you. You know, very much like Bill Clinton in that way. And even though people think he's very standoffish, I never found him to be that.
What is it like the day of when one of those guys? Because I live not far from where you guys
Secret
would tape,
Service.
and we would see the road shut down. But what was the vibe in the studio when this is happening?
The vibe in the studio is that a very important person is here, and he's got a lot of security. So, you know, watch your P's and Q's a little bit.
You start panicking inside, like, hamana.
Yeah, but not me. I was like, what is this, a gay bar? I've seen so many men here today. You know, I don't give a fuck.
Were you hesitant to make jokes or no?
I make jokes. I just, I'm a comedian. You know, we do what we do, right?
Yeah.
Did you bump heads with Elizabeth a lot?
Of course.
It seemed like it.
Oh, yeah.
When I did watch The View with Joy because you were good.
The two of us, we should go at it.
What do you think of her?
Listen, we were not friends exactly, but we were not enemies off the air.
Right.
You know, we would argue and have these big fights on television, and then it'd be like, oh, I like your shoes.
So if you saw her in the green room, you would have conversations with her?
Of course.
Did you ever go out to eat with her?
No.
Okay.
That
says a lot.
How many years you do the show together?
about 7 or some 6
They
or 7.
hated each other.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. It wasn't hate. It's not hate.
You did 16 years.
I did 16
we
years. That
we
was
read
quite
that
a stretch.
on your prep sheet.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did 16
16
years. It didn't
yeah,
seem
it's a good
that
job.
long.
It was a good job. I bought a couple of houses. Thank you.
You're going to do more TV? After this
I don't
one
know.
woman show, what are you going to do next?
You know, I'm at the point where, like, you know, if something comes along that appeals to me, then I would go back. But if it doesn't, I don't care. I don't live on television. It's one of the good things about starting late. Also, you have a whole life that you remember.
Right.
I don't live on television.
Right, and now you got your. Let's plug the one person play. It's a solo play, so it's stand up, but it's in a one person show kind of feeling.
It has. Some of it is. Some of it's really funny. I talk about The View, my years on The View. I have a slideshow. I've got a movie. I've got other pictures. So but it's a story. It goes from. My childhood. I tell a little bit about how I was raised in Brooklyn, and then my career and what the obstacles were along the way. You know, we don't emerge secure and happy as comedians. You know, we have to go through some fire, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
you
very
have to
rarely
do hell gigs.
A lot of hell gigs.
A lot of hell gigs, and for $5, and for $10, and for $20.
Where you got to set up a little thing behind the bar. You ever have to do one of those where you set up there was one gig I did in the Bronx where there was like something set up behind the bar.
Oh, wow.
And you just stand there behind it's fucking atrocious.
Unbelievable, some of
How
the
do you
jobs.
do that?
I don't know. I mean, I once opened for Buddy Rich, the drummer.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
At the Bottom Line, and the whole goddamn place was filled with drummers, and they all brought their sticks. So while I'm talking, they're banging the table with their sticks.
Trying to be rude or just doing what they do?
Rude.
Just
Rude.
be an asshole.
Did they do that when Buddy Rich was
No,
playing?
no, of course
not, right?
Unless he wanted them to.
Sure.
You know, but they were just assholes.
I forgot you were on WABC.
I did. I had
And
a radio show in 90, 91, like that.
you got fired.
I did. I got fired from a lot of jobs.
Why'd you get fired from a radio job?
Somebody didn't like me.
Oh, that was it? I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was something controversial or something.
No.
We've all been fired.
Well, I had a big fight with Rush Limbaugh. That might have. I don't know if that contributed. You know, there's the thing about getting fired from these jobs, which I've been a few times, and it's not always because I have no ratings. You know, like HLN, they fired me. I was the second highest rated show on the air.
Who was first?
Nancy Grace.
Awful.
Now, somebody might have not liked me over there because I am a political person. I might have said something that some conservative didn't like. Or maybe they were changing into the total Nancy Grace shtick, and I was not fitting in. I really don't know the answers.
Do you know Nancy?
I do. I've met her a few times.
Is she as abominable as she appears to be?
No, she's not. That's a persona. That's a persona.
But let me ask you a question. If that's just a persona, she really is, it's comedians, we get in so much trouble for all this shit. Why does nobody go after people like that for capitalizing on the deaths of children and hashtag? If it's a persona and she's doing that, she's basically got a shtick where she's looping in dead kids and going like, tot mom and drowned baby and making a great living doing it. And yet comics are fucking taking a task for what we say.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, I remember when, you talk about sex in the old days and you get into trouble in some things, and yet Dr. Ruth was right up your vagina with a Richter scale. So, it's like...
None of this makes sense.
Yeah, when it's comedians, they're threatened by us. Joe Biden, vice president, once told me a long time ago, he said, I'm much more nervous to be on Jon Stewart than Meet the Press.
Wow.
So that tells you something.
As a comedian can, I guess being mocked, it's the same reason I didn't get beaten up in high school and before. It's because they could have beat me up, but the one thing I could do that they couldn't is I could make fun of them.
Yeah.
And that's a humiliating thing for someone sometimes, and maybe that's his feeling.
And Meet the Press is going to play it a little safer. You know that going into it.
And they're not going to mock you in that kind of way.
No, they ask you all predictable
basic
questions
you've answered a million times. Right.
Whereas a comedian will ask you something off the wall, and you've got to go there.
You worked with one of my favorites, Bob Grant. Did you get along with Bob?
He's dead now, right?
Yeah. I guess that's a no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agreed with...
I thought his stuff was racist, frankly, a lot of it. And
he was a good listen, though.
Whatever.
No, I don't mean that like I agreed with him.
Yeah, the problem is he's not as conservative as Opie likes. Opie called him, what did he call him? Bleeding Heart Grant. He was way too
Crazy's
liberal for
fun to
Opie.
listen
But he was
to,
funny.
though.
He'd go, get off my phone, you miscreant.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
But
didn't
you know
go
what?
along.
Off the air again, he came to my father's wake. He was a respectable Italian guy, so I have no truck with any of them. I don't care. It's all a game. It's just that some of them are dangerous, though. I don't like spewing racial shit. I hate that.
What was your issue with Limbaugh, or his with you?
I had a big fight with him because he was attacking my friends, and I made up a list about why he couldn't get laid. And then we had a big fight over that. He and I didn't have the fight, but the program director was furious with me.
Why? Because you went after Rush?
I went after Rush, and it was ad hominem.
But he could handle it.
Exactly.
So what's the
well, they didn't like that. And then after that, I lost my job, so it might have had something to do with it. I don't say
Did he address it on air or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, are you kidding? We'll give you the time of day. He's got his ditto heads listening to him. He doesn't need me.
He's one of those guys who went behind the scenes then.
But he thinks he's funny. You think he's funny? I don't.
No, not at all.
I never really listened to his show. I wouldn't classify him as humorous, though. I mean, he's never
He
made me
thinks
laugh.
he's a riot.
No, not at all.
I don't think he's a racist either, though. I mean, I think he's a very conservative guy.
Oh,
but
he says plenty of racist shit.
I don't know. I don't find him to be racist. I've never heard him say anything that I thought was racist. He might be conservative with race, but I never saw the guy's a racist. He's never struck me. But no, I'm serious. He's never struck me as a racist. Just a guy who's a conservative.
Doesn't he call Obama the magic Negro? What is that about?
I'll be honest. I haven't heard that, but I can guess it's a sarcastic. It might be addressing the way liberals view him sarcastically. I mean, again, I'm just guessing, but I don't think he's actually looking at him and saying the magic Negro, because he's certainly not saying that about conservative Republican blacks. I'm sure he's not referring to Clarence Thomas like that. So it's probably just a sarcastic way of looking at the way liberals idolize Obama.
Oh, well, that's a nice spin.
No, but I mean, it might be it.
To use the word Negro, first of all, which is so passé and so retro, and it's annoying to African Americans to be called Negro.
Well, that's probably why I think it's sarcastic.
That's why I think he's a racist, because he knows it's going to upset African American people.
Eric knows the bit. What's the bit?
It's a parody song that was written just for a show. It's Barack the Magic Negro.
Barack the Magic Negro. It's a parody song?
It's Two Puff the Magic Dragon, but it's a parody song that he plays all the time.
Okay, it is, and it's probably maybe he thinks the way they look at Obama is screwed up. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not wrong sometimes, but I don't think he's.
But
a
why
racist.
does he even have to go to race? Why talk about the guy's race? First of all, he's half Caucasian. Everybody's always referring to him as a black guy. He is half white.
That's right. The good half.
But not only stop it. But not only that, but the guy, you can make fun of all his politics if you want. Why do you have to go to his race? Why? Because he's a racist. That's why.
No, I won't peg him a race. I'll tell you why. Because his race is he's the first black president. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a big thing. It is a real thing. So I think if we're going to mention it in the fact that almost all black people voted for him, and I have no problem with a black president, one of black. But you can't not address it either. Like, it is what it is. He's the first black president, and black groups always say it. Whenever they have him,
they can say it. It's different.
But it shouldn't be,
it's like when a Jew makes a joke about Jews, it's one thing. When a Gentile does it, it's a different thing. And so you have to take that into consideration as a comedian. I'm from that school.
I do disagree with that. I think that even though maybe one is...
I know you do.
One is...
I've heard your act.
Yeah, I do. one might be more palatable. But I don't think one should not get you in trouble and one should get you in trouble.
Well,
I get why black people want to hear it from a black comic more. But, there's got to be one set of stupid rules. All of it. It's simple. It's to the point. I just don't think you can look at it that way.
Okay. Well, we disagree.
Especially in comedy, Joy. Make fun of everything.
Listen, I just think that it's less palatable when you are attacking another person of another culture in a nasty way.
If you're attacking even if you're attacking your own culture, but humor is not always attacking. Sarcastic commentary is not always attacking.
I think that some speech is offensive and it's hate speech.
Hate speech, and I agree with you, but I think the problem is that when we lump humor or sarcasm into hate speech, we diminish real hate speech.
But you know what? Rush Limbaugh is not funny enough to pull it off. Let's put it that way.
I don't think what he does is hate speech at all.
I know. I heard you.
I honestly don't. But again, I don't even agree with him most times. Like, Sean Hannity, I love Sean.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because he
defended
all
us a bunch of times.
All these fake liberals out there, and I'm not saying that are attacking language. Hannity, the one who everyone says is this conservative Nazi, was defending the Opie and Anthony show and saying if you don't like it, turn it off.
Right.
Whereas liberalism was supposed to be this place of people thinking a certain way, and they are the ones who are attacking speech.
That could happen. That happens. I don't agree with that.
And that's what drives me so crazy.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
If someone defends us, then we have to like it.
Yeah, I mean, and Sean really did stick up for
If Hitler
us.
defended you, you say, Hitler's
What do you mean
a nice
if?
guy.
He was a big fan of this program.
I stopped going on the show just because
On Hitler's show, yeah.
he thinks
Very low-rated.
He thinks I voted for Obama, and I didn't vote for Obama.
Are you a conservative? You're a right-winger, right?
He's a hardcore right-winger.
Jesus.
Hardcore. It's embarrassing. It's like, Jesus, dude.
I'm not a believer in general, and I'm definitely in the middle. Definitely.
You're an independent?
Yeah, I've never voted.
Now that's
not
how,
once.
That's terrible. That's disgusting.
Terrible.
That's terrible.
How could you
George
not
Carlin
vote?
never voted.
Yes, he did. He was joking. He did vote.
Who?
George Carlin.
George Carlin never voted.
Yeah, he did.
George Carlin didn't have to vote because he had a platform. He influenced
What do you think
millions
this
of
is?
people.
We're not in our living room.
We
you
influence
don't
hundreds.
Yeah, but you're not on this show to influence anybody. You're on this show to just blab away.
Who am I? That's a lot.
Right? You're just here to bullshit.
I'm here to I've been supporting you the whole time.
We are just blabbing away. You can't
I don't-
can't sue her for slander.
I don't know who to vote for.
You don't know who to vote for?
No,
You vote for people who are for climate change, who understand the environment is going to kill all of us. Do you have children?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I don't have
You
children,
find out
and
if
it's
that
too
person
cold.
believes in climate change.
I
If they
believe-
don't, you don't vote for them.
I believe in climate change.
Of course you do. You're not an idiot.
Well, a lot of scientists say,
absolutely, yes, I'm blithering. However,
a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
scientists say that that's all
No.
bullshit.
They do.
Actually,
So
real
what's their take on this
they do
thing?
not. The legitimate science and the polar caps are melting.
Yeah, I've
We're
seen
going to be in
video.
a big trouble in about 25 years, and your kids will be big.
You have to admit, though, Al Gore looks a little silly after all this whole blathering about.
yeah.
And then I love
sells the station to Al Jazeera. I lost that job because of that. I had a job on Current TV.
Oh, is that
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
you and John Fugelsang, who I
Yeah.
liked a lot.
I love John, and we all lost our jobs because that asshole sold the station to Al Jazeera.
And he is an asshole because it's oil money, and there's a lot of oil money, which I have no problem with. But don't preach for this long about something and make this your
Hypocrisy.
thing.
Right.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I know. I agree with that.
Have you interviewed him or no?
Yes, I have.
And
He's
what?
boring.
It is boring, right?
He's boring. But he would have been a better president than George Bush. George W. was an idiot.
Well, I don't know. If
Oh, he's a fucking idiot. Give me a break, okay, Jim?
I don't know. I have a
All you
soft
have
spot
to
for
do,
Bush.
just read his quotes, and you'll see how fucking
Do
stupid
you only
this guy is.
do you only vote for Democrats?
I never vote for Republicans. I don't
Ever?
trust them. I don't trust them.
What if there's a good one in there?
Bloomberg was a decent. Well, he was an independent.
Yeah, he was a Democrat who just couldn't get on the ticket. I mean, he was.
Yeah.
He became.
Yeah.
I mean, you
don't trust Giuliani? Like, even though he's a real conservative, like he was a guy who always went down.
Look at her face.
But hold on now. He went down like whether he said what he thought about stuff. He didn't bullshit. He didn't play like, well, he did stuff that him, Jimmy Carter, and Reagan are three guys I can think of.
Look, there's Bush on the TV there, right behind you.
Yeah, look
with
at him.
Some kind of turkey he's about to
He's
kill.
petting a turkey.
Remember that?
No, he's pardoning it.
Oh, please.
He was, come on, Joy. He's pardoning the turkey.
Remember that video of Sarah Palin with the turkey in this fucking grinder where they shredded a turkey? Please, don't get me started
Sarah
on
Palin
that
is a bit of a blithering dope. I think Bush got a better rap.
She makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, neither does he.
I like him.
You like Bush?
but I like Obama, too.
Here's a quote from George Bush. I'm honored to shake the hand of an Iraqi citizen whose hand was cut off by Saddam Hussein. That's a quote from George Bush.
So what? He's cute. He says cute things.
Moronic.
So how did he shake the hand? I need to know.
Please.
However, John Kerry did say a lot of stupid things that people. I'll say this. This is the press.
Yeah.
John Kerry said a lot of dumb shit,
Yes,
and
he did.
the press said he had little verbal tics, like the softer way they painted him being an idiot.
Well, he wasn't as stupid, but his mistake was that he didn't fight hard enough against those Swift boaters. The guy was a veteran of the Vietnam War.
That's true.
He was wounded, and they made him out to be a coward. See what I mean about that side? They will stop at nothing to win.
But they're all the same. They're all scum. All of them are
Well,
scum.
I hate politicians in general.
Yeah, they're kind
I
of
do.
creepy.
I don't like them.
Back with you, Joy.
But, you have to take the lesser of two evils a lot of times, and it does make a difference. You know what? Everybody should listen to Bill Maher's what do you call it? The New Rules. Which aired on Friday.
Yes.
He was so brilliant about why you have to vote and how it's not all the same. So,
I'm beginning to think you
as
lean
get
Democrat.
older, it's not necessarily that they're all exactly the same because these policies affect you.
No, they do. But just the megalomania you have to have in you to run for that type of a job,
I know.
they're all shitty narcissists with lousy friends.
Well, nobody really smart or good wants to run anymore because of the smut that they throw at you.
But in the end, it's one vote. I'll let everyone else vote.
Attaboy, You're right.
But
It's one vote.
you need to vote.
It's one
Next
vote.
presidential.
I tell him that every year you won't vote.
It's one
You need to-
vote.
Where do you live?
Upper West.
Oh, so it doesn't matter. It's always going to go Democrat.
I
Doesn't
tell
matter.
him
Don't
that.
even bother.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Because lucky for you,
Now I have to go
vote, so
wait
I'll
online.
counteract yours.
Okay,
And I live on the Upper West also.
All right, so it's.
why don't we hang out?
Yeah, let's go for lunch sometime. I mean, not today, but I mean,
Go to the gym with us. We're going to work out in a
I
little
always
while.
get a virus in the gyms.
Yeah, really? That's funny. I always
hate a
get
gym.
one, so we should go together.
What kind of virus?
You touch the things that sweaty dogs
MRSA and
have-
stuff?
Well, you're not supposed to touch your mouth, Joy. You're supposed to touch them and then wash your
Why
hands.
are you touching dogs and stuff?
Not dogs. The
the
treadmill
equipment?
thing. Yeah, the equipment.
You got to wipe them down.
Well, the last time I was there, which many years ago, I got sick, and I said,
Put
"That's
gloves
it.
on.
I will from now on.
I was working
if
out
go."
next to Regis Philbin the other day.
Oh yeah, he loves to work
In the
out,
steam
doesn't he,
room,
Regis?
if you know what I mean.
So this is a gay show. Okay.
He was very mad that I was too close to him on a mat. But it was like prime time.
Yeah.
I wasn't in his way. He was grunting at me.
Why don't you say hello to my son-in-law? Say hello, Al Scotty.
Hello, Al
Hello,
Scotty. Thank you
Al
for being
Scotty.
a fan.
Say thank you for bringing your mother-in-law on the
Well,
show.
we happen for many
Tell him
years
to
we've
come
said
in.
nice things about Joy Behar, and Joy had me on her show, so I love Joy Behar.
And he's a very lucky boy to be married to my daughter.
So why don't we just have him come in so he can check out the show? He could just sit over there.
Well, he has a job.
All right. Well, I'm
Unlike you
trying to be
two.
nice.
This really is a very easy gig. Just yapping. You're not wrong.
The
You're very
radio is great, especially on Sirius Radio when you can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
You're
just
very
not on Twitter.
confrontational.
I am.
I'm
That's why
trying
we
to do
like
a nice
you.
thing for your son-in-law, and you're yelling at me.
That's
I
true.
think.
Give him the fuck. She doesn't take any shit, Joy.
No kidding.
Am I the kind of woman that shrinks your penis? Am I that kind of woman? That you're in the room with me and it's like, oh no, here comes this bitch. Is that how is that how I strike you?
I kind of
Opie?
find you sexy, actually.
You don't?
I do.
You do?
He does,
I don't know
yeah.
why, though.
It's that Mrs.
know
Robinson
why.
thing.
Yeah, because you're very dominating and sure of
I could be-
yourself. and
yeah,
would
I am.
Probably
I am.
paddle Opie's young bottom. I don't blame you.
You put yourself together nice, you know.
Thank you.
All right, the play because they tell us that we have
Yes,
to wrap
you
up.
gotta
It's
go,
also
Joy.
the show. It's
Yeah, I
quarter
have
11.
to go. I've been here for 2 hours.
Me, My Mouth, and I at the Cherry Lane Theater. It's now through December 21st. Joy is very funny and very opinionated, which is no, but that's a good thing as a comedian. You don't fucking. I like the fact that you say what you
And
want to
now
say.
we're going to have to deal with shit on Twitter because we didn't fight you on your points.
Well, what's there to fight? Just,
I was
you know,
just tired.
I like Joy and she can help my career. So you come in and
There
say
you
whatever
go.
you like. CherryLaneTheater.org
We'll call Ovation Ticks.
or Joy V. Behar on Twitter for a link, I'm sure.
Yes.
And go see Joy's play. Very, very interesting
Thank you, guys.
and inspirational.
Lovely
Started
to
at 40.
see you. Good luck with this.
Are you going to come back, you think?
Sure. I like it.
All right, good.
I
We're
like
wrapping
it. If
up.
they paid money on Sirius, I might even do a show, but they don't pay shit here.
Hold on, we're ending.
Will you let us finish
We're
our show?
wrapping up.
Sorry.
Go to jimnorton.com
Do
for
they
all
just
of my
leave the view
dates.
like that?
Yeah, I could walk off. I'm like that.
All right, sorry, Jimmy. Go
That's all
ahead.
right. JimNorton.com for all of my dates. I got a bunch of stuff on sale leading up to my shoot. And then go to cherrylanetheater.org for Joy's
you
Joy's
go.
one
We made you
person
sit
show.
through his plugs.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll see Joy
Okay,
soon.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye. We'll see you guys
Break
tomorrow.
now, or you just keep
We're done.
talking?
We're
You're done for the
Yes,
day?
we're done.
It was fun, actually. You guys are fun.
Thank you. Yeah, we're finished.
You're fun in a different way from Howard.
Oh, I like to hear that. In
see
what
you,
way,
Joy.
though?
See ya.
All right, bye. Joy Behar.
She's great.
We're still on.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, she made some points for the other side.
No, I don't mind. I don't care. I like Joy. She treated me good, and she was good with comedians.
She's always great with you guys.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think we're done. I got to piss desperately again and shit.
Roland, what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I believe, is Mr. Tony Robbins.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then whoever you guys want.
Okay, he's talking about personal power, things of that nature.
Or everything. From life-changing money, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
but,
can do it.
Roland!
yeah, but all right, sure.
Yeah.
Someone's about to shit his pants.
All right.
It's a song I wrote.
We got to go now.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just saying I got to shit.
Nah, we're fucking this babbling. All right, see you tomorrow. Sense.
And you guys
Well,
sound great.
couldn't she just make believe she was going to see Bill Cosby again?
Not back then, no.
Why? Mom drops you off. You're like, all right, Mom, I'm good from here. And
No,
then
you
wait for the car to pull away, and then you run.
Yeah.
Well, she probably had a chaperone. I think now, of course, you drop your kid off, or they'd just go by themselves now. But I think back then, her mother was probably shepherding her around and taking her everywhere. Somebody was probably. Or
I wish I could do a Bill Cosby impression. It's all I'd be doing all morning.
You do a terrific Bill Cosby
No,
impression. I
I
don't know
don't
why you're
know.
downplaying it so much, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know.
You want to just,
Hey, come here, you have a pudding pops.
beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful.
you guys sound great with the new show. I've never heard you guys sound so upbeat and happy all the time. It's nice.
Well, thank you for
Jen.
believing it. We're not.
I
miss
do.
my
Well,
friend.
you're doing a great job because I completely am buying it.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
guys.
Thank you. Anyway.
Come here, we were going to buy sweaters, and the sweater store was burning.
You close your eyes. It's right on.
I thought the cause.
We got one more woman who wants to talk about the Bill Cosby thing. Her name's Jen, and she's calling from Rhode Island. What's up, Jen?
Hi, guys.
Hi. Can you?
Go ahead.
Jen?
I'm here.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. You hit the nail on the head when you're talking about it being a different era. And I think a very plausible scenario is this 19-year-old girl, talked it up to her family, and they were probably crazy about it. So that after this rape happened, and she didn't want to tell anybody what happened, and she didn't want to go, I mean, her parents or friends could have been saying, "Were you crazy?
Right.
You have this opportunity, and you're not going to take it, and you never follow through on things, or you're always, not succeeding, or this or that." They're going to, bully her into going, and she's going to do it because she doesn't want to tell anybody what happened. So I think it just being a different era. Yeah, any woman, not any woman, but I mean, a good 19-year-old at that time would definitely end up putting herself back in that situation when she wouldn't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes Cansecos. He blew off his
I
finger?
wasn't finished talking about the rape.
No.
Yes.
He blew off his finger cleaning his gun?
That's right. He was cleaning his gun and he shot his finger clean off.
So they put the finger back on,
Yes.
which is terrific. And that should have been the end of the story. But now he tweeted, I think, over the weekend that his finger fell off playing poker?
Yeah, he was playing poker and his finger fell off.
How does that
That's
happen?
what I would do. I would drug her and then poker, but when I'm on the TV, I don't want to talk about it. Let's pretend it's not happening. I'm wearing a sweater. I can't go on the late night with the David Leonard person because he's going to ask me the question. Neeb. Everyone thought it was the Family Guy, but I was raping everybody.
Good Cosby.
It's right on. It really is. You're going to get a lot of work with that. What happened to his finger?
Well, he was just tweeting, damn.
It fell off like a Jell-O pudding pop.
Yeah.
Damn, I was playing poker and it was in here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's pretty good, right?
It's
great.
very good. Not pretty good. It's very good.
It's like picture pages all over again.
Look at him put on a sweater and rape somebody.
Lose the he at the end.
Be careful. People are going to think that's an actual admission from Bill Cosby.
Oh, the NPR about questions about rape.
Couldn't tell if that was a clip or what that was.
Ask me about the rape. Ask me about my art collection.
Why is his voice changing?
It's Bill Cosby.
It's evolving.
I want to talk about the allegations. Who wants to hear about me drugging and raping everybody? All you want to hear about is my pictures that I've been painting. Ted Schickler Cosby.
It's Ted Cosby. It's Ted Cosby.
I'm really losing the impression.
Hey, I got to know about Jose Cansecos' finger before Joy Behar.
I don't want to talk about Jose Canseco's finger. I'm too busy committing rapes. I'm talking about my African art like people want to hear about it.
Okay, by the end, that wasn't Bill Cosby.
People want to hear about the African pictures.
Okay, that's good.
When we last left you with Jose,
Poker tournament last night, and something crazy happened to my finger that I shot off, and they put back on. I knew something crazy was going to happen with this damn finger because it felt like it was falling off. Okay, well, I might as well tell you, I was playing in a poker tournament last night, and my finger fell off. Someone took a video of it. My finger should have been amputated from the beginning. It was very loose with no bone to connect it. It also smelled really bad.
oh my God,
Rotting.
his finger's rotting.
This guy called my agent and sold him the video of my finger falling off. It looks kind of funny, LOL.
Jose Canseco is a tough guy.
No kidding. He's just joking about his finger falling off.
He's a tough guy.
So did they put the finger back on again? That's what his finger looks like?
Yeah.
Looks like a little bit like a baby penis.
It's
does.
rotting.
What the? This is my finger before it fell off. Maybe
Wait,
I
that was before it fell off?
So he lost most of the finger to begin with.
I mean, he shot the thing off. And obviously it's
But they
gonna
only
get-
put a nub back on it?
Yeah, probably
Where do
blew
people
into-
see that? Oh, go to Deadspin. People know Deadspin. It's on Deadspin. This is my finger before it fell off. Maybe I will sell it on eBay after all that finger hit 4